Medicaid programs can be confusing, and one area that is often misunderstood is where Medicaid will pay for care. Will it only pay for nursing home? No, that's in the past. Today, I'm going to share your options with you. In the past, when we needed help with mobility or bathing, nursing homes were the only option for seniors to get care. But things have changed over the years, and that's really a good thing. Nursing homes are expensive and they do not feel homey at all. Remember, Medicaid long-term care is for people with limited financial resources who cannot live independently in their own homes anymore. For someone to receive Medicaid long-term care services, their long-term care needs do not have to be medical in nature to be covered by Medicaid. The care can be necessary due to normal aging, a disability, or a chronic health condition with no cure, like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease. To qualify for Medicaid long-term care, you must need a high level of care called nursing facility level of care. Exact definitions can vary by the state, but generally it means that you need assistance or your loved one needs assistance with some of the activities of daily living. So things like mobility, getting around, bathing, dressing, feeding yourselves, toileting. Those are the kinds of activities that you're going to need assistance with to qualify. So in an earlier video, we discussed the different long-term care Medicaid programs. One of those programs is called Nursing Home Medicaid. The Nursing Home Medicaid covers 100% of the cost of nursing home care, and the requirements to receive Medicaid are not the same in every state. Not all nursing homes accept Medicaid, and those that do may not have available space when you or your loved one is ready for care. Nursing home Medicaid applicants are guaranteed nursing home coverage if they qualify, but they're not guaranteed a spot in any facility that they choose. Another program called Home and Community-Based Services waivers are for people who need that high nursing facility level of care, but want to continue living in the community or at home. Each state can determine where they allow their waivers to be used, but most state waivers will cover some long-term care benefits in the person's home or the home of a family member. Some of the other options to use those home and community service waivers to cover long-term care benefits are places like assisted living, the home of a friend or family, adult family homes, senior group homes, memory care facilities for people with Alzheimer's and dementia, adult day centers. So while the home and community benefit service waivers will cover long-term care services and supports in multiple settings, they will not cover room and board expenses. And that's different than nursing home Medicaid, which will pay for room and board. Once you qualify for Medicaid long-term care services, you can also receive basic healthcare expenses, doctor visits, medication, short-term hospital stays, emergency room trips. Medicare is the primary payer or the first payer for basic medical, but Medicaid will pay for things that Medicare won't pay. The long-term care benefits provided by the home and community benefits waivers varies depending upon states, but the programs can include things like case management, where you have a social worker assisting you navigating the services. They can include personal care to help with those activities of daily living, the mobility, bathing, dressing, grooming. The waiver program can also cover homemaker services, things like shopping, cooking, cleaning, laundry, very beneficial. Another benefit is respite care if you have unpaid caregivers. That means that if you have a family member who helps care for you and is unpaid, then your waiver can provide care so that your caregiver can have time to rest for themselves and have counseling services. The waiver program can also provide medical supplies or equipment and modifications that will help you remain in your home. Another service is transportation. It's important to get to the doctor, and a waiver program can allow for transportation or vehicle modifications for accessibility. It can also include important benefits such as meal delivery. The benefits that the waiver program provide are dependent upon the needs or the circumstances of the individual who is receiving the waiver. So, for example, a waiver might cover personal care assistance for someone who needs that to keep living independently and stay out of a nursing home, but another person might not need the same assistance to keep living independently. The company or person who provides the services are approved for and paid directly by Medicaid. There are options for the beneficiary to choose who the provider is and get paid by Medicaid. That part of the waiver program is called the consumer-directed care. When you apply for Medicaid, one of the first steps is a needs assessment. The state will assign a social worker to the case, and that social worker will meet the Medicaid beneficiary for an evaluation of their needs. Once the evaluation is complete, the social worker will write up a plan of care. The Medicaid program will either assign a care provider or offer a list of providers for which that person can choose who will be the provider. The state will approve individuals and organizations as long as they accept the Medicaid rate. There's an option to pay a family member to provide care, and that's called consumer direction. A family member may already be providing unpaid care, but they can get paid through a Medicaid program with consumer direction. So if an adult child, grandchild, niece, nephew, sibling wants to be a caregiver, this is a good option to look into. There would be some training, background checks to get paid through consumer direction. This program is part of the Home and Community Waiver Program. The amount of money that your loved one can be paid for caregiving through this program is determined by the average caregiver wages in your state and the needs of the Medicaid recipient. I created a one-page resource to help you understand the differences, and I'll have a link for you in the description. The first step is to determine if the person who needs help is eligible for Medicaid. The journey of caring for a loved one or a parent is very difficult and emotional, and it's one of the hardest things you'll do. It's full of tough choices and systems that seem designed to confuse you, but you're not powerless. The biggest thing I want you to take away from this video is that these programs are built around the same goals you have, keeping you or your loved one living with dignity and comfort in a place that they know and love. Yes, the process is complicated. It takes research, paperwork, and careful planning. Sometimes figuring this out on your own is pretty overwhelming. So if you need some help and want to know what options are available to you, Asset Guard Long-Term Care Solutions offers support to families needing access to long-term care benefits. We can turn all the fear and confusion into a confident plan of action. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with another family who really needs to hear this message. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.